What's up guys and welcome. This is an overview of the Kriega OS adventure gear, panniers and duffel. And basically this is going to be the setup I'm going to run for the Mojave Trail trip we have coming up. So quick announcement on the Mojave Trail and a group ride. If you guys are interested, Randall and I are going to be doing, and hopefully Paul, a 3-day 2-night trip through the Mojave Desert. This is going to be along the Mojave Road, which is roughly 112 miles long. We've done this trip before. You can find it in the Moto Adventure video playlist, and it kicked our butts. Unfortunately, when we got to Soda Dry Lake Bed, we had some rain, and Randall gave it an effort, but it was impassable, man. We got our butts handed to us. We had to tuck tail and leave. And so this time we're adding a day to it, and we're going to go out there and we're going to have a really good time. It's going to be Memorial Weekend, which I believe is May 22nd. We're going to go Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So we're going to leave Saturday, come home on Monday, and that'll allow just more time to enjoy the ride, not feel rushed, camp 2 nights, and just have a really good time. If you guys are interested in joining us for that ride, please email me, theoffroadadventurechannel@gmail.com. The email is in the About section of the YouTube channel. All right, let's move on to the Kriega gear. So I went ahead and invested in a pannier system. I do have the Moscow Moto 80-liter Reckless setup, which is without a rack. It sits on the pillion seat area and straps to parts of the bike frame. It was really big. That worked out really well for the 1090R, but it didn't sit well on the 790. I didn't like it. I couldn't get it where I wanted it to be, and it just I just couldn't deal with it. So I went ahead and went with a rack system. So this is the Motortek rack, and so let's start with that. I bought it for a reason, which is also why I kind of don't like it. I'm not super stoked on how wide it is. You guys can see super girthy. And why I say I kind of bought it for that reason is I wanted the panniers to be the same offset, so I could run similar or same size bags without having to do a large bag and a little bag. And turns out for that reason, obviously it sits really wide. The stock exhaust might have been a little bit bigger, but definitely wish it was maybe 1 inch to 1.25 inches tighter on both sides. Having said that, it seems like really good quality, very stout, thick, robust, mounts well. And it does allow you, with the extra room, to put stuff along this area here on this side. Even with the clearance with the swing arm, I could pretty much get a Rotopax probably on the back side of this OS mount, and it'll probably clear just fine. So I might entertain doing that as well if I want to take extra gas. So the Motortek rack, nice. They did have a version that don't require the OS platforms for the Kriega bags. Motortek has a rack that's set up already for the strap system pretty much. I didn't buy that one because this one was over $100+ cheaper, and the OS platforms being removable, which are needed for these bags, I can put them on different rack systems, so I'm not just stuck with the Motortek rack if I do want to change out later. So let's go ahead and just get on with the Kriega gear. Basically, I'm running 2 of the same size panniers. These are 22-liter OS Adventure panniers from Kriega. So they're the slimmer line. They do have a 30+ liter pack system, and I didn't want to be that wide. I wanted it to be as slim as possible. And so these are the 22 liters, and I've got an 18-liter Adventure duffel basically in the middle. So holds a lot of gear. So I'll tell you right off the bat, the Kriega stuff, man, if you haven't had it before, I bought their 10-liter US dry pack, and I liked it so much. That's what kind of sold me on buying the rest of the gear for this. Super, I mean, just robust, thick. The materials feel really super high quality. They're renowned for keeping everything dry in any condition without having to do any additional dry bags. So I'm going to take these gloves off, guys. It's getting a little warm. We're going to get these undone, show you kind of how they strap up, and show you what's inside of them, kind of my camping gear. So I just kind of tucked these guys off to the side, right? So they've got these nice little clasp buckle deals here, right, that come over and strap to the back. You're just going to pull those up, and it's going to give you some clearance there, and then you're just going to clip them on the sides. All right, and you can kind of just scoot those out of the way and unroll the top. So in this side, I've got mostly mess and cooking gear. I do have this is empty, but an MSR fuel bottle. I don't know if I'm going to take it on the trip. I may or may not, but I wanted to put it in there just to make sure everything fits. Basically in this bag, and I'm not going to go over everything in detail, guys, as far as what's all my camping gear explained. We can make that a separate video. So to keep things a little bit shorter, I'm just going to briefly touch on it. This dry bag has a lot of cooking stuff in it, like tongs and forks and spoons, lighters, matches, batteries for some electronic stuff that I take, flashlights, that kind of deal. So just a lot of little cooking items and randoms in there. I've got a couple of propane tanks. Usually I've taken 2 in the past. I like to run a little lantern that I have on the top of this, and then keep one for cooking. I got some really great Sea to Summit gear, collapsible plates, bowls, cooking pot, and what else we got in here? A plethora of dry bags. These are just in here to keep them out of the way for right now. I don't know that I would take all these. Probably not needed. Collapsible Wolf Grizzly barbecue grill, super nice. Got to use that recently, highly suggest it. This is the most important item I have, this collapsible Helionox chair, man. This is an oversized like beach chair. This thing, this is worth, I'd just take this if I had to. Chairs may be overrated for some of you guys, but man, I tell you what. All right, in the bottom of this bag, we've got some tools, basically a tire plug kit, tire patch plug kit. We've got random JB Weld zip ties, glue, hose clamps, random stuff, tire inflator, an extra lighter I don't need to take, but it's in here, and then the KTM toolkit. So that's everything in this right side bag. I'll get all this stuff put away, guys, and then we'll move on to the second bag. This is really nice. It's just one big giant dry bag, so you guys just end up rolling this back. You saw I took it apart. Really not a big deal. Just kind of keep it with your leg, clip it in the back, clip the front strap. I really dig how these bags though do hold their shape, the square shape, pretty well. The material is so thick, even when the bag is empty, it kind of keeps that shape. So when you guys are just kind of strapping it back down, you're just kind of push and then clip that little guy backwards. Really just slick, easy little operation. And then I end up just taking these and kind of folding them in. So let's move on to the left side bag here. All right, this is going to be pretty much all my sleeping, camping, actual camping stuff. I do like nice things, you know, prima donna, call me what you will. I got a really nice new inflatable, self-inflatable mattress. I cannot wait to try that. I haven't tried it out yet. Got a giant 2-person, it's actually pretty small, but it's big as far as packing it. Nemo, awesome, love this tent, 2-person tent, just in case, you know, I got somebody with me, which isn't likely, maybe a coyote. Got a new pillow, again, excited to try that out. I got some ground cover for the tent, and I've got my sleeping bag in here, which is going to be a warm weather. Look at that tiny little guy, little warm weather sleeping bag for like kind of the 50 to 60 degree range. And that's everything in this bag. So I'm going to get this all put away. I was really pleased that the tent fit in here so well. I was mainly worried that the tent wasn't going to fit in one of these slim panniers, but it actually fits perfectly. Bam, just like that. And again, just gonna roll everything back up. I think, like, more than anything versus the Moscow Moto kind of reckless kind of setup, it's nice, it's quality stuff, that Moscow Moto, but getting things in and out was more of an ordeal. This is just much more kind of user friendly, I would say. Like, if you're gonna do things quickly, this is like a lot more convenient to set up and break down camp, at least for me and the stuff that I carry. So again, just gonna cinch those down and then clip that little guy. Clip. Done. All right. So now I'll show you basically what's in this 18-liter pack in the middle. And another reason I really like this setup is I wanted to be able to take the seat off easily. Randall killed his battery last trip, and we had a lot of gear on his bike, and it made it pretty difficult to get to the battery to jump it. So I like that I can just pop this off pretty easily and get to what's underneath here if need be. So this is like I said, 18 liters. Just gonna do the little dry bag setup again. Everything else can stay on the bike. And in here, this is gonna be changed most likely. This is kind of just for video reference so you guys can see how much fits in here, but I'll probably change up what it is when we're ready to go. This is an electronics bag. I'll probably make this a lot smaller. This holds a bunch of odds and ends basically for different gizmos and gadgets and gear that I bring camera wise. I've got another GoPro in a small case. This will come for camp shots and riding shots, stuff not point of view. I did buy a Mavic mini drone. The drone's not actually in here right now, but this is the case that it fits into. So I've got a drone and another GoPro in this bag along with this giant bag. And then you know, some of the stuff I didn't need last time, but I enjoyed it. Like this is a really nice Marmot goose down jacket, just a lot more comfortable to have in camp, which would then go with shoes. So last time I did bring shoes, and it's just a lot more comfortable in camp again when you're hanging out for long periods of time, walking around and kind of seeing the sights around where you're at. It's nice to not be in riding boots. So that's everything that's inside this bag. Again, I'll probably change some of that having to do with what's in here. I might tuck in some other items and things of that nature, but for the most part, this is pretty close to it. And again, just really dig how fast all this is. When I'm on the trail with Randall and stuff, he'll tell you there's a lot of times I want to get off the bike and film something, him doing something or a scene, and if stuff's really hard to get to, sometimes I don't get shots that I want just out of pure not wanting to dig through a bunch of stuff. And this whole setup is just so fast and like convenient, you know, to get to things. Aside from it being nice quality and keeping everything dry while you're on the trail should we get rained out. Other than that, guys, I'm really pretty stoked on this setup. Again, I wish it was a little bit skinnier, but really nice quality. Excited to use it, and we'll kind of see where it goes from here. But hey, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, leave them down below. And again, guys, if you're interested in joining us on the Mojave Trail trip, just email me and we'll work out some details. You definitely want to be comfortable in sand. From last time I tell you, there's plenty of sand on the trail, and you want to have a decent fuel range. We are going to be fueling midway, which is why it's 3 days 2 nights now too. Paul brought his dual sport last time, did really good actually, but this will make it a little bit less stressful if you guys are on something, or if anybody comes out with a bike that doesn't have great fuel capacity. We're going to fuel up halfway through the trip and then continue on. There's also supposed to be a pretty good water crossing, Afton Canyon water crossing at the end of it, which we didn't get to, and some sand dunes. So if you're interested, hit me up, guys. Otherwise, please like, subscribe, comment. I appreciate you, and we'll see you on the next video.